bondage of slavery and foreigners' yoke, are gone with the past and power now to people. Gandhiji and Nyereri's nobility and soul strength got Thai the freedom, and now you have a mission. Enlightened youths, now you have to sweat for making Thai people prosperous and happy, for you are the greatest hope for this part of globe. These lines, taken from I Am the Indian Ocean, are penned by one of the greatest visionaries of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. There is no better way to convey what exactly he wanted, what he wished for our country and its people. India's transformation into a superpower nation armed with technology, knowledge and potential was always his aim. Or I must say his big aim, because he said once that small aim is a crime. Dr. Kalam dedicated his whole life in service to the nation and contributed everything possible to his vision of a strong and self-reliant India. He had his aim and also the way to achieve it, that is, the ignited minds of the youth, for he had discovered that an ignited soul filled with the love for his motherland is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. Maybe no other man showed greater belief and faith in the young generation than Kalam did. In his simpler and humbler ways, he attracted the youth, the student community in particular, towards his cause. He inspired them, made them believe that they are no way inferior to anyone, no less competent to the world, and that they can, with dedication and determination, change India's destiny. No wonder why this man became the guiding light to a multitude of young Indian minds. APJ was into delivering a lecture on the topic Creating a Livable Planet Earth at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong. At around 6:35 p.m., he collapsed and was later confirmed dead of a sudden cardiac arrest. Yes, he left the mortal world fulfilling all the duties of his life. But still, he remains as an eternal flame in our minds, leading us right. His life continues to teach us the lessons of patience, perseverance, and politeness. Come, let us go through the legend's life history.
Awal Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 to a Tamil Muslim family in the pilgrimage center of Rameshwaram in the state of Tamil Nadu. His father, Jainulabdin, was a boat owner and his mother, Aishamma, was a housewife. Kalam was the youngest of 4 brothers and 1 sister in the family. By his early childhood, Kalam's family had become poor So, at an early age, he sold newspapers to supplement his family's income. In his school years, Kalam had average grades but was described as a bright and hardworking student who had a strong desire to learn. He spent hours on his studies, especially mathematics. After completing his education at the Schwartz High Secondary School, Ramanathapuram, Kalam went on to attend St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, then affiliated with the University of Madras, from where he graduated in physics in 1954. He moved to Madras in 1955 to study aerospace engineering in Madras Institute of Technology.
In the first phase of his career, Kalam joined the Aeronautical Development Establishment ADE at Bangalore as a senior scientific assistant in 1958 and started by designing a hovercraft. He was also part of the INCOSPAR committee working under Vikram Sarabhai, the renowned space scientist. Joining the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO in 1969, Kalam became the project director of India's first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, that successfully deployed Rohini satellite into orbit in July 1980. Becoming a part of the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, in 1982, Kalam worked to find various possible ways to strengthen the nation's defense security. Under his directorship, the government initiated advanced missile programs that resulted in the emergence of a new India. The Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, which was his brainchild, ensured India achieving greater heights in missile technologies of propulsion, guidance, controls, and warrants. Under this mission, strategic machines like Agni and Prithvi and tactical missiles like Agash, Nag, and Trishul were developed. This was indeed a milestone, a major achievement marked in red letter in Indian history, for this made India's way into the elite club of nations to have the ability to design, develop, and deploy long-range missiles, indigenous missile defense system, and underwater launch capacity. From July 1992 to December 1999, Kalam served as the scientific advisor to the Ministry and the Secretary of Department of Defense Research and Development. It was during this period the Pokhran-2 nuclear tests were conducted, and in collaboration with the Department of Atomic Energy, he played a significant role of a nuclear scientist. Along with Rajagopala Chidambaram, he served as the chief project coordinator during its testing phase. In 1998, along with Dr. Somaraju, Kalam developed low-cost coronary stent, which came to be known as Kalam Raju stent. As the chairman of Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, TIFAC, he also got involved with the creation of Technology Vision 2020 and India Millennium Mission, IMM 2020, which is an integrated version of Technology Vision and India's security concerns. Dr. Kalam served as the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India in the rank of Cabinet Minister from November 1999 to November 2001 and was responsible for evolving policies, strategies, and missions for many development applications.
Kalam served as the 11th President of India, succeeding K.R. Narayanan. His term lasted from 25th July 2002 to 25th July 2007. Kalam was the third President of India to have been honoured with Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honour, before becoming the President. He was also the first scientist and first bachelor to occupy Rashtrapati Bhavan. During his term as President, he was affectionately known as People's President. He also took the controversial decision to impose President's rule in Bihar in 2005. Kalam supported the need of uniform civil code in India, keeping in view the population of the country. After the completion of his term as a president in 25th July 2007, Ms. Pratibha Patil became the 12th President of India. After leaving office, Kalam became the faculty member of many educational institutions in our country and an adjunct at many other academic and research institutions across India. Till his death, he was really active to promote scientific inquisitiveness among the youth and the children of our country. In May 2012, Kalam launched a program for the youth of India called What Can I Give Movement, with the central theme of defeating corruption.
Books are my favorite friends, and I consider my home library with many thousand books to be my greatest wealth. Books always had great influence on APJ, for they were his companions in his journey from a small village boy to the head of the largest democracy. Kalam used to read a lot of books, and his favorites were Thiruvalluvar's Thirukkural, Light from Many Lamps by Lillian Watson, and Empires of Mind, Lessons to Lead and Succeed in a Knowledge-Based World by Dennis Waitley. Kalam has authored and co-authored many books. In his book, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, Kalam advocates an action plan to develop India into a strong nation and explains the importance of science and technology. Wings of Fire, his most popular book, is considered to be his autobiographical account. It provides a deep narration to his life events and is highly inspirational. Books Ignited Minds, Indomitable Spirit, which is also known as Adamya Sahas, and You Are Born to Blossom, are highly acclaimed and they reflect his thoughts and actions. Turning Points, A Journey Through Challenges, is his inspiring sequel to Wings of Fire. Published in 2012, it brings together details from his career and presidency. Through his books Na Jeevana Gamanam, My Journey, and Transcendence, he portrays the tale of his life and his spiritual experiences with his Guru.
Kalam received 7 honorary doctorates from 40 universities. The Government of India honoured him with Padma Bhushan in 1981 and Padma Vibhushan in 1990 for his work with ISRO and DRDO and his role as a scientific advisor to the government. In 1997, Kalam received India's highest civilian honour, the Bharat Ratna, for his contribution to the scientific research and modernization of defense technology in India. In 2013, he was the recipient of Von Braun Award from the National Space Society to recognize excellence in the management and leadership of a space-related project. In 1994, Kalam received Distinguished Fellow degree from the Institute of Directors, India. In 1995, National Academy of Medical Science honored him with honorary fellow degree. APJ Abdul Kalam also received honorary degrees from foreign universities like Honorary Doctorate of Science from the University of Wolverhampton in UK in 2007, King Charles II Medal from UK in 2007, Honorary Doctor of Engineering from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore in 2008, International Von Karman Wings Award from California Institute of Technology in USA in 2009, Honorary Doctor of Laws from Simon Fraser University in Canada in 2012, Honorary Doctor of Science from the University of Edinburgh in Scotland in 2014. He also received an honorary degree of Doctor of Engineering by the University of Waterloo. In 2009, Kalam received the Hoover Medal, America's top engineering prize, becoming the first Asian to win it.
Fly and fly. I am born with potential. I am born with idea. I am born with greatness. I am born with courage. I will defeat the problem and succeed. I am not for growling because I will fly.
I study in 7th standard from Concordia UPS Perurkada. My question: at present, what are the major strengths and weakness of our India?
Your mic, can you keep the mic like this? Like this. Keep distance. Slowly speak. Speak now. You are a good fellow. Yes.
Sir, I am poor English. Study in Malayalam medium.
Malayalam parai.
The smile, if you smile, the whole day will be smiling. If you don't smile, they will not smile. So it's like, make it a habit to smile. It creates a lot of friendship, a lot of happiness, okay?
Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is harmony, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world.